All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. This is episode 35 of Hump Day Hangouts. Today is the very first day of July 2015. And today it looks like we have got, who do we got here? We've got Hernan, Marco, Bradley, and myself. I think Chris is missing in action today. He's off being busy doing some programming stuff. So, how's it going, you guys?
Good, man.
Good.
Hello. Hey, you're stealing my thunder.
Sorry.
All right.
Hernan said he's going to be kind of muted somewhat because he's got some sort of construction going on in the background, and he's going to be like.
Yeah, sorry, can you hear that? That's
Yeah.
not funny.
I know. Put the hammer down. You're on a webinar. Come on.
So it's just going to be mainly, well, me and the rest of the guys, I guess, could chime in. So we don't need you, Hernan.
We need his pretty picture there. He looks good. I don't know if everybody sees that. He's got a suit on. So, all right. Well, let's see real quick today. If you all didn't get completely hammered with emails already, we didn't send any out about this because we've heard Explain.io 2.0 was launching, and we've known about it for a little while. And it's a tool we've used before for creating videos and whatnot. So, if you hadn't heard about it, we're gonna pop the link in here, and it's something we're checking out. I myself do not use this tool. I've played around with it, but I've got a couple other that I like, but this is one that I think, Bradley, you've used before, right?
Yeah, I've used it. It's pretty cool because it's kind of like Video Sketch Pro and what was the other one? Video Maker FX combined. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. So it's pretty cool. I mean, again, I typically outsource my video stuff now, like the production end of it, but I have used it and it's pretty cool. So I'm assuming that version 2.0 is even better.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I just took a look too. That's going to be 75% off for 2.5 more days, and I guess they do a yearly license, so it's not lifetime, but it's pretty damn close. So I mean, that's something crazy. Like I think they're doing $200, but you can get it for like 45 or $50. So if that's something you want, if you're looking for a different video production tool, I'd check it out.
Cool. Also, I happened to notice earlier today that Ted Chen RSVP'd, which Ted Chen is the developer that developed Power Suggest, and also more recently with Justin Sardi, the TubeSift tool that we had a webinar about last week. And so I just want to give a shout out to you, Ted, because your products are awesome, man. I've been pimping your Power Suggest Pro for like the last, I don't know, several months. It's my favorite keyword tool of all time now, and it works really, really well. So I just want to give you a shout out.
We love you.
What'd you say, Hernan?
We love you, Ted.
Yeah, man. And now TubeSift with that. You know, I've been doing some YouTube ad stuff, and been playing around with that a lot. And that's obviously, since Ted developed that as well, it's just as powerful, and it's really cool because it kind of do set up targeting. Targeting list for YouTube ads, and it's really cool. So I just wanted to give you a shout out for both of those tools again, man, and appreciate you being here. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into. By the way, I guess Adam, if you have a link for TubeSift, we can drop that on the events page.
One step ahead of you, it is there. If anybody's interested in checking it out, and if you hadn't, I don't know if you haven't been getting our emails or anything yet, one, go sign up, get our emails, but two, we had a webinar with those guys, and we're talking about how to do targeted video advertising, and that's what that's all about. So another great source of traffic and way cheaper than AdWords.
Yeah, in the affiliate accountability group meetings that we do weekly inside the mastermind, I've been playing with some YouTube ads. It's really the only campaign I've been playing with too for my affiliate project. And I've really got it dialed in now to where I'm getting almost a 4% click-through rate on my impressions now, which is really cool. And my email list is building. I'm making sales now. And in fact, it's funny because the tool that I'm promoting in my affiliate funnel is the Power Suggest Pro, which was developed by Ted Chen. So, and it's working well. It's I've got my YouTube ads dialed in pretty good, and they're starting to work really well. So, using the TubeSift tool to find those, to build those targeting lists. So really, really cool. So, all right, guys. Well, we got some questions, not a whole lot yet, but typically they roll in as we get going here. So we'll jump into these right away and see what happens. First one, I'm assuming here's Daniel S. I saw Chris and Marco kind of playing around earlier. So Chris is one of our mastermind members as well. Daniel says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Glad to be part of this Hump Day. Happy Canada Day for the Canadians." Okay, cool. He says, "Tags. How many keywords is too much? Less than 25? Please provide some insight." I'm not sure what you mean by that, Daniel. How many keywords is too much for what exactly? If you can provide some, if you're watching, if you can provide some clarification, we'll come back to that question because I'm not sure what you mean. How many keywords is too much?
Hey, Bradley, I think he's talking about keywords as tags.
Oh, okay. As tags, got it. That would make sense. Yeah, less than 25. 25 would be way too many. Like I typically for manually created sites, like when I'm building out posts on a site, one by one, then I'll do like probably anywhere between like 3 to 6 tags at max. I never do more than like 6 tags when I'm actually producing posts. Now there are site builders like SERPshaker or Lead Gadget, or those types of things where it's different. Those are different types of sites. You can put in more tags and things like that. But I found that for most like manually built sites, for the traditional type site builds, I usually don't put more than 5 or 6 tags. So I'll let a couple others chime in if you want, guys. Like Marco, what do you do?
No, I typically keep it 6 to 10. I couldn't say typically.
Yeah, 6 is usually about my max, but Marco says about 10 is his possible sometimes. So.
Yeah, but max 6 to 10, somewhere in there. It's just for variation. I don't want to do 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
Yeah, and just keep them target. I mean, you don't have to get 6 just because you had to have 6.
That's right.
Right. No.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes posts have 1 or 2 tags, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, less than 25, yeah, absolutely. 25, that's stuffing in my opinion. I think that's way overdoing it. So. Do you hashtag in addition to keywords tags, i.e. video description or blog post? No, I don't hashtag inside blog posts. I don't know how that would be helpful at all. It may be. I've never tested it. Video description, not necessarily in a video description are hashtags useful, but they are useful in the Google Plus post or in tweets, obviously. But when you're uploading a video to to YouTube, you can add in hashtags into the Google. If you click on the Share to Google Plus button as well, when you're uploading a video or you're setting up a live stream, for example, here I'll walk through that real quick because I'll show you. Like if I go to New Live Event, right here where it says Add a message to your video, and you can choose to share to Google Plus and/or Twitter. If you click on Choose to Share to Google Plus and you start to put in a message here, then use hashtags here. Because hashtags are pretty powerful for driving traffic and getting your posts found for people searching for those hashtags. So, for example, if we go over to, let's just say we go here and we look for hashtag SEO, okay? And we do a search. We're in Google Plus, right? And we do hashtag SEO and we take a look. You see the hashtag here. These are all the popular related hashtags right now that are trending. Okay, so these are the most popular hashtags related to SEO. And so essentially what you can do, and you can see, like, for example, right here is us today, right now, the episode 35, and we're trending on this page for hashtag SEO because, number one, it's current, number two, because we use the hashtag right here, right? So that's a pretty good example that I actually didn't plan on this showing right now for this, but it worked really well, right? So, and then this will give you ideas for using other hashtags that are related, that are trending, that are popular. So these are great ways to get additional traffic, guys, is to target some of these hashtags. And the same thing goes for Twitter. I'm not a huge Twitter user, although I'm starting to use it a lot more because I can see not only the traffic benefits, but now that Google is indexing tweets, and we've been playing with it the last few days, and you can definitely index a tweet now, I'm seeing some huge SEO potential with it, and so I'm starting to play with Twitter a hell of a lot more than I had ever planned or intended to. And I'll, in the coming weeks for mastermind members and stuff like that, we're going to be doing a lot of case studies and experiments and stuff with Twitter stuff that I think are going to be really, really cool. But that said, I know Twitter can do the same thing. I think they have like a hashtag search and that sort of thing. You can find trending hashtags. And there's also a plugin. I can't remember the name of it now. Right Tag, I think it's called, R-I-T-E tag. Let's just do a search real quick for it. I think that's what it's called, righttag.com. This is a browser, a plugin that you can install in the Chrome, and Yeah, this is it. So it's righttag.com, guys. Go check it out. They have a Chrome extension. They might have one for Firefox as well, but this will actually like pull trending hashtags right into Google Plus posts and tweets and things like that. So like it's pretty cool. I've played with it a little bit. I need to play with it some more, but it's just something that you guys might want to check out. And as far as I know, there's a free version. There's probably a paid version too, but I know there's a free version, so you might want to check that out.
And Brad, if I can just jump in for a second.
Please.
If you're going to do this and you're going to use Google Chrome, stay clean, and you're going to just add power to your tier 1. This is what this is for. Don't use this to spam through Chrome because you're gonna get popped. I mean, seriously. But you do all your wicked stuff through Firefox and proxies and whatever. But when you're in here and you're going into tier 1, just keep it clean, and you're just gonna add power. And the most important thing here is that you're going to add topical trust flow through Twitter.
Yep, totally agree. So check those out. Hopefully that was a little bit helpful. Again, and I'm kind of excited playing around with Twitter. I never thought I would actually be excited about Twitter because it was like one of the things I just always avoided. But I've been playing with it a lot recently, and I find it pretty cool. So some of the things that you can do with it for SEO, we're gonna be talking about in the mastermind, is some pretty ninja stuff. So. Okay, so as far as just to, I guess the short answer in this case would be keywords or tags and hashtags. I do the hashtags in the Google Plus posts, and also they're really good for Twitter. As far as actually putting them in the video description, I haven't tested that. I don't really know how that would be useful, although without testing it, I can't really talk about it. So, paid directories. Any experience with using paid directories for backlinks and opinions? No, not really. I haven't done any paid directory listings in 4 years maybe. I know there are some still high, like Yahoo, for example. I don't know if I think they actually stopped that recently, like within the last few months. But they used to cost like $200 or something like that to get, or $300 to get a link in the Yahoo directory, the business directory. And years ago I did that, but I stopped doing paid description directory links many years ago. And I know there's still some high quality ones out there, but I just don't do it. I mean, essentially, you're going to pay for a good backlink regardless of whether it's in a directory or somewhere else, because whether you buy your own PBN, you build your own private blog network, you're paying for those links, or you're paying to rent space on somebody else's network or whatever, you're paying for those too. But I just find that I don't use the directories. I use business directories for citations for local sites. Use those all the time. But for like the old school web directories and stuff, I just don't use them. I personally I wouldn't recommend it, even if you had some real good ones, because you could probably spend your money better elsewhere, is my point. Okay. Patience. How slowly do you build links, Web 2s, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 spam when launching a new website, PBN, or Web 2.0? I'm well educated on the subject of link building, but I'm curious about your opinion, insight, and how slowly you should build. I don't really worry about the speed when I'm building a new money site, except for the Tier 1. Like, I'm a little bit cautious with that, and what I mean by that is, like, when I launch a new site, and we're dealing with this inside the masterclass right now for the local SEO case study that we're doing, and because we just launched a site, I don't know, not even 14 days ago now, and so inside the masterclass we're going through this pretty much step by step, but typically on the first tier, I'll build the Web 2 network, which is an IFTTT network, and then I like to syndicate a few posts out to the network to kind of prime the network and to get some links pointing back to the site other than just the profile links. So, I'm getting contextual links within the blog posts and in the bookmarks and things like that from the IFTTT network. Then, like a press release, I like to use a press release to announce the launching of a new site. And a press release, you can get, 250, 300, 350, whatever, somewhere in several hundred links pointing back to your site really, really quickly, like in a matter of a day, 24 hours, you get all these links pointing back to your site. So it's not, but that's normal because those are the normal type of links that would, Google would expect to see if a press release gets picked up and distributed, that it's going to get a flood of those types of links. So that's usually what I will do is the Web 2 stuff, and then, which includes social media and Web 2 links back to the site. Couple blog posts, 2 or 3 blog posts to kind of prime the network, and then a press release. And then if it's a local site, I'll start doing citations immediately. And that's it. As far as this going out where you're tiering the links, that I can be a hell of a lot more aggressive. Like I really don't care what the speed is with that, just so long as I know where I'm using the spam properly. For example, I don't like to use GSA or pure spam directly on tier 2, especially if there's do follow links pointing from tier 1 back to the money site. I don't like to spam those properties with direct spam. I like to layer that out one layer further. So in other words, like I'll use FCS Networker as my tier 2 links that I'm building links to my tier 1 links, and then I'll use GSA beyond that. So that brings it like 3 step. It's actually 2 full hops away from my money site, and that's just to protect it. And in that case, we just spam the hell out of it, you know. So I mean, my personal opinion is I wouldn't recommend launching a new site and then blasting it with a bunch of FCS Networker links or Syndwire links or anything like that, and then a bunch of PBN links and all that. I just kind of start off with the basics, which are the Web2 network for the IFTTT network links, which are going to be all your major social media profiles anyways, right? Get a couple blog posts out there. A press release is a good way because you kind of pillow your site. You know, you kind of get your site ready by having a bunch of diverse, IP diversity pointing back to your site from these high authority style links. A lot of them, almost all press release links are going to be no follow anyway, so it's not going to hurt you, but it's going to kind of build that base, that foundation of links. And then from there, like I said, citations, and then I'll start layering links in. And if I need an extra push, then I do additional things like set up some 301 redirects and then run some SAP links or something like that to the 301s, and that's more advanced stuff. That's typically how I do it. Hopefully that was helpful. Social, do you have a preference when trying to boost social metrics? Do you use Fiverr? Do you use your own network to build relevant singles? Yeah, I use Fiverr for spam gigs for like YouTube videos and stuff, but I wouldn't recommend that for your own, like your money sites. It's funny you asked that because inside the mastermind we're talking about, I'm testing several different services right now for that, and the jury's still out. On one of them, I actually today made the post that I don't recommend using it, but I found some other services. One that is on the books to test, but I have not tested yet, is Dan Anton's service called Social. Let's see what it's called. Social Network Signals. This is Dan Anton's service, and he's the developer of CrowdSearch.me and backlinks indexer and that sort of thing. And so I trust he's a good developer. So I think that this would probably be a good service, but I haven't tested it yet to be 100% certain. This is the next on my list. Okay, so I don't recommend Fiverr for that kind of stuff, though, guys, because not direct to money site. If you're doing it for parasites, Web2s, or YouTube videos, that sort of thing, that's fine. But for your money site, I would just go with really like high quality social signals that look as natural and as organic as possible. So you got to go with something that has a drip rate. And even a lot of the social signal providers don't offer that. Like if you buy social signals, you get 500 tweets and 500 likes or whatever, and you get them like in 24 hours. I don't like that. I don't want that for my money sites. I want them spread out over time so it looks natural. So that's why I don't recommend that. Okay. And guys, I've tested social signal spam for money sites, and I've seen absolutely no benefit from it. When you try to like just blast them with social signals. And what I mean by social signals is likes, plus ones, tweets, that sort of thing, although that may be different now because of the the semi-partnership between Google and Twitter. That could be changing, but I'm not talking about social links. I'm talking about just social signals. There's a difference. Okay. All right, so let's keep moving. This is a long question. Content. I've noticed you mostly promote your own content on your Web 2.0 PBNs. Do you ever mix in organic and your content for a more natural look, or do you simply don't need to? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about for semantic mastery, or are you talking about for like our IFTTT method where we syndicate our own blog posts? Not 100% sure what you mean by that, because the IFTTT networks, the tier 1 networks, yeah, they're going to be 100% just syndicated content from your money site. I mean, that's the whole point of having a branded channel. PBNs, I don't just syndicate content to. If it's a broadcasting network for video syndication, then yeah, that's fine. I do syndicate just raw, straight YouTube videos to those. But if I'm doing PBN sites or tier 2 networks, then I always mix in additional content, other content sources. Okay? Just so you know. I mean, the tier 1 PBN, or I'm sorry, tier 1 IFTTT networks are going to be branded networks anyway, so it's just sharing your own content to your extended network, which the extension of your brand, which would be WordPress and Twitter and Tumblr and Digo and Delicious and Blogger and all of those. So there's absolutely no reason to mix in other content. Why would you want to be putting other people's content on your in your golden frame, right? However, that said, we do use curated content, and curated content is a mix of other people's content as well, and you cite the source. You give attribution back to the original source of the article that you are, or the content that you're curating. And that's my preferred method of content generation anyways, is curated content. And so, that there's a lot of reasons for that, which we cover in the Curation Mastery course. That's your cue, Adam. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as PBNs and things like that, no, I mean, like my PBNs, guys, unless they're automated, 100% automated, like what I use for video broadcasting networks, I have my PBN sites are manually curated content anyway. So I literally have VAs that curate PBN posts and post them to the WordPress sites. And again, it's curated content. I use curated content for both my money site and for PBN posts. It's, in my opinion, it's a much higher quality. It's easier to produce, and it adds more trust and authority signals back to the, into the posts themselves. It creates more trust and authority signals. And again, that's something we cover in the Curation Mastery course. Let's see. Other than that, guys, I don't recommend any sort of automated stuff, direct tier 1 linking, other than your own IFTTT syndication network. I wouldn't recommend any sort of automated, 100% automated linking, and content generation services or techniques or methods for that matter, because at some point, if it doesn't get you in trouble immediately, it will down the road. Okay. So that's why all the stuff we do on tier 1, like for money site posts, they're manually done, or for any sort of tier 1 linking that's pointing back directly to the money site, I still have everything done manually. Tier 2, I automate the hell out of it, but tier 1, I try to keep it manual. Sitemax XML, what's your experience with them? I use them. I always submit all of my sites to Google Webmaster Tools, every one of them. And there's people that want to argue with me on it, and that's fine. You guys do what you want. I use Google Webmaster Tools and Google Analytics for all my sites. I don't put them all under the same account. I spread them out across multiple personas so that I don't have all my eggs in one basket. But I absolutely submit my sitemaps via Google Webmaster Tools. It helps to get the site indexed quicker. And I like to use the data that Google gives me back from connecting to their applications. URL shorteners, do you have any specific uses that you would like to share or that you haven't covered yet? URL shorteners are great for a lot of like ninja stuff, because if they're 301 redirects, you got to make sure that you check URL shorteners, because some of them are not 301 redirects, some of them will be 302 redirects, and those have absolutely no SEO value. So just go to something like redirect-checker.org and check any kind of URL shorteners if you're going to be using them, to make sure that they are indeed 301 if you're going to be using them for SEO purposes. Okay, and again, that's redirect-checker.org. It's a header response. You can see what I mean there. Now, for example, we'll walk through this really quick. So, like, in fact, you can just go to redirect checker, and Google will take you to that. It's going to be this one here. And in fact, I'll actually go into my... There's a few of them that I like to use. I don't recommend Bitly. Bitly's okay for like your tier 1, to have a profile on Bitly for your IFTTT networks for tier 1, because you're not using it for anything other than to just post a link to your profile. In other words, your Bitly profile. And it has high DA and everything else. So they're kind of useful for that. But I don't recommend using Bitly link shorteners for any sort of link building or spam stuff, because Bitly will arbitrarily deem or add what's called a spam tag to some of their links, even if it's not spam that you're linking to or that you're shortening, and that renders it a 302 redirect, which is basically useless for SEO. So I don't recommend using that anymore. Guys, here's a URL shortener for this Hump Day Hangout that we're on right now, and you see if I paste this in, which is a goo.gl, loved Google URL shortener. But you got to be careful using it, guys. It's a Google property. You don't want to use these for pure spam stuff. You want to use these much more strategically. But if we take a look and we analyze this, you'll see it's going to come back and show us the header response codes for the 301. And sometimes it's slow for whatever reason. But you can see what's interesting here is we've got a 301. I know it's probably hard for you guys to see. By the way, I bet you I never did cameraman this time. Shit. Sorry, guys. You guys were seeing that stupid little thumbnail images in the bottom right corner of us, I bet. And the screen was probably really small, and I apologize for that. Anyways, too late now. If you guys probably aren't seeing this, but if you go to redirect-checker.org and you check a 301 redirect, it'll give you the header response codes here, and it will tell you. This one is a 301. Then it goes, this one actually, because I used the wrong, and it wasn't really necessarily for SEO purposes. I was testing this for something, but this one I grabbed the wrong Google Plus Events URL, so it actually 302s from a Google 302s it there over to the final destination, which is the events page that you guys are on right now. So you can see that there was a several redirects here going on. And then lastly, there's actually, like, for example, guys, you know when you paste a link into Twitter, it converts it to a t.co link, which is a 301 redirect link shortener. It's Twitter's link shortener. But any link that you post inside, it will still display in Twitter like a normal link. But when you hover over it, you'll see it's a t.co link, shortened link. And that's a 301 redirect as well. So keep that in mind. If you take like a target URL and you go shorten it, you know, with a link shortener, and then you tweet it, then it's going to actually be a double 301, right? Just remember that. All right, we're almost done with this question. Work ethic. What's your work ethic like? Working smarter is the name of the game in SEO, but I'm curious on how many hours you put in a week. Oh, God. I don't have a life outside of my business and my daughter. I work roughly 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every 12 days I get my daughter for 2 days, and that's pretty much my life, and it's just because I'm managing several businesses, and I truly enjoy what I do. I really, really do. And we're building Semantic Mastery and some other businesses as well, and all of them are fun, so I don't mind working. There's nothing I'd rather be doing anyways, to be honest with you. So that's a little insight into my boring life, but I find it fun, so...
Sorry. Really selling it.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I enjoy it. I mean, and, you know, because of Semantic Mastery, we've got so much stuff going on, you know, so much stuff going on that it takes up a lot of our time, my time included, but, you know, I'm building something, so it's fun. I wake up excited every day to start the day, you know, and I think that's important. If you're not doing something fun, guys, it's just work.
Amen.
So, you know. If you don't truly enjoy what you're doing, get out of what you're doing and go find something you do enjoy and make money from it. And that's my word of advice to you, and you'll enjoy working. So, Michael Dawes says, I've recently reviewed Google's terms regarding using accounts for business. Looking forward, do you see any value or added security in using a Google business account, at least on money YouTube channels and money local maps sites? We'd be able to at least tie our domain names to our Google properties safely. The cost to do a business Gmail account seems to be $5 a month. I have no idea what you're talking about, Michael, to be honest with you, because when you set up a free Gmail account, I set up Google Business Pages or Google Plus Local Pages, which is just a business page with a local aspect, and the YouTube channels and everything else are all tied in with the business page. So I'm not sure what you mean. If you're talking about having a Gmail business email account, like Google Apps, I guess is what it's called, or something like that, that's up to you. I just use the free Google stuff and set up Google Plus pages and YouTube channels as business channels. So I honestly don't know what you're talking about, Michael. Sorry, I can't help you with that. Rainier says, if I wanted to focus on one competitor, to beat for 5 different keywords, what would be the best tool you could recommend to analyze their site to figure out what they're doing and then doing it slightly better? My competitor and I are always on page 1 for our keywords, but he is always one notch above me. Just got to beat this guy. I totally get that, Rainer. You know, it's one of those things where it's like he's always one up in you. You just got to beat him. It's kind of a pride thing at that point. I get that. So as far as the tools, I've been testing a couple tools recently that are kind of like all-in-one. They're supposed to do everything under one dashboard, and I'm not real crazy about them, to be honest with you. So personally, I still recommend, if you have a suite of tools that you use, they're typically going to be, you know, multiple tools that you use to combine your research that you have to combine on your own. Like, for example, I would, first of all, domain authority and page authority, you can look at those metrics without having a paid subscription to anything, right? You can do that with just a toolbar, the Moz toolbar that you can put in your like Firefox browser, for example, or whatever. I've got it here in Chrome actually, but I find that it acts funny in Chrome a lot of the times. So you can find out like page authority and domain authority metrics there. Majestic SEO, I think it's invaluable now. I think it's like a must-have tool for any SEO because of the trust flow and citation flow metrics. I think trust flow is the most important metric in SEO right now to be watching and to be paying attention to. So Majestic SEO, you can use that for trust flow and citation flow, and then backlink analysis, that sort of thing. However, if you test 5 different backlink analysis tools, you go analyze the backlinks of a domain, and you use 5 different tools, you're going to get 5 different sets of data. Okay, so none of them are perfect. I find that Ahrefs actually returns a hell of a lot more links than Majestic SEO does, but it lacks that trust flow measurement. Okay, and so that's why I just stick with Majestic now, and that's it. I mean, like there are other tools like SEMrush is another great tool that you can use to find like a lot of keyword data and stuff like that. But typically, like I said, all I'll do, it depends also if it's a local site. Like I use brightlocal.com as like a local analysis tool that analyzes citations, and it does like local SEO or maps competition, competitive reports and things like that. And BrightLocal, highly recommend it, guys. I've been using it for several years. One of my favorite tools for local SEO stuff. But then I just basically take a survey of all of the metrics, the important metrics. And if you've got like 5 keywords, you're typically going to be talking about 5 main pages per site, correct? So I would analyze each one of those main pages, collect all the data. You can put it in a spreadsheet manually if you need to. I mean, that's typically what I'll do. And put your domain authority, page authority, trust flow, citation flow, number of backlinks, social signals if you want to look at that. That's something else that Ahrefs will do that, I think, automatically. I don't think I'm pretty sure Majestic does not, but you can use something like sharedcount.com to check the page, the social signal count on pages, right? And put all those together, and then citations. If it's a local business site, you want to check on your citations. So do a citation tracking report. BrightLocal is one of them. Another one's whitespark.ca, I believe. There's several of them out there that will do that. I happen to use BrightLocal. And then meet or exceed whatever they're doing.
Yep.
Okay.
And sorry, Bradley, just to reiterate what you're doing, I wouldn't only focus on that one competitor, but rather the top 5 for whatever keyword you are going after, because that will give you an idea of the kind of scenario that you are developing your SEO battle, so to speak. So basically, on some cases, on some searches, you will find that higher percentages of keywords, that you will see scenarios where a 5% or even a 3% of keyword reach or keyword exact match anchor text will be penalized. But in some other cases, 15%, 20% you can go away with. So it's important that you know where you're developing your battles and which kind of links also your competitors are getting. Because if your competitors are getting links from, I don't know, high-power websites, then you can scrape those high-power websites and get a link, buy a domain and get a link. You can also try, it all depends on where you're trying to rank. And I would advise going at least analyzing the top 5 to see what they are doing and emulate them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally agree with that. That's why I said, especially like with local stuff, I found that if you do a backlink analysis, which includes citations as well, and a lot of the times you can find out, if you're not doing as well as a competitor, if you can go find out, like, hey, well, where'd they get citations that I don't have citations? And then you go make it a point to get listed in those directories as well. That makes a big difference. And you can do the same thing with link building too. A lot of the times you can target some of the same places or try to find comparable quality backlinks, build them yourself as well. Plus, lastly, you want to check the on-page stuff. I'm sure you've done that, Rainer, but just for those of you that have not maybe or didn't know this, here's a great tool that I use all the time. It's free. It's called SEOcentro.com. If you go to the keyword density checker, You paste the URL in here, put the little caption in, and you click submit. It will give you return your keyword density based on singular terms, 2-word terms, and 3-word terms. And you want to check keyword density and that sort of thing because there's certain things that you don't want to, thresholds that you don't want to go after and such. And typically, like for single-word terms, you don't want to go over like 3%. For 2-word terms, 2%. For 2-word terms, you don't want to go over 1%. And for 3-word terms, you don't want to go over 0.2%. Those are just like kind of rules of thumb. They can be broken at times, and like for example, your brand name, if your brand is mentioned like as a 2-word term or a 3-word term, and it passes that threshold that I just mentioned, it's not a big deal. Okay, but for straight keyword optimization purposes, you want to try to stay within those parameters.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned it, Bradley, because I was working with an affiliate site of mine a while ago, and I just used that tool that you're mentioning. And I dialed down the main anchor, the main keyword. It was a one word, it was a one-term keyword, and I dialed it down from, I think it was at 1.7% to less than 1%. Right now it's at 0.98 or something like that, and it shoot up. The rankings climbed like 12 spots just by doing that little tweak. So it's not a matter always of backlinks, because
right.
the site had authority, nice metrics, etc. But just by doing that little tweak, it came back to page number 1. So it's pretty interesting.
That, and also check page speed, your page load time. That's something else you can do. Go to gtmetrics.com, scan your site, see how fast it loads. Scan some of your competitors' sites, see how fast they load. See if that makes a difference. If you can improve your page load, that's going to help. There's a number of things that you can do. So. I would start with on-page always first. Make sure your on-page is tight, which includes page speed as well. But then after you're pretty much sure that you're good on that side, then start working on your off-page metrics. Okay, so unfortunately, Rainer, I don't have a one-stop tool like one-stop shop or like an all-in-one tool that does it. I've been testing one called serpt.net. I'm not real crazy about it, to be honest with you, and for the price, I don't think it's really worth it. I think maybe they're going to be improving it, but for the time being, I don't think it's all that great. I know there's a few of them that do something like that, where they kind of house all of those tools under one roof, but I find them to be a little bit clunky at the moment. So. Michael Dawes says, "Have you taken
one sec, Bradley? If you can back up real quick, I posted something in there from Facebook that I think might be a good candidate for Hump Day Hangouts. It's from the IFTTT SEO group, but it's talking about YouTube and some other things."
Oh, he just posted that today.
Yeah, I thought we kind of 2 birds, 1 stone, and some good general information for people.
Okay, I've gone through the YouTube Silo Academy and also watched the 3 advanced IFTTT webinars and the IFTTT training, and still have a number of questions on how you approach video SEO for a given niche / location, e.g., or for example, electrical contractor supplies in city A, B, or C. Wasn't sure whether this is something you could cover in masterclass or mastermind training. I'm not a member of either yet, so I hope you don't mind. I'll run these questions past you first. Yeah, Peter, if you're watching, keep in mind that if you wanted this answered, I'm glad Adam snagged it, but you could also post these on these Hump Day Hangouts page, and we'll get to them during these calls, and we do these every week. So. Do I create a themed persona YouTube channel for a single location with a single silo playlist as per A below? There's a graphic here, guys. Those of you that you posted on the page. Okay, so any of you that are inside the academy, you'll be able to see this. Do I create a themed persona YouTube channel for a single location with a single silo playlist as per A below, or do I create a themed persona YouTube channel that covers all locations with a separate playlist for each location as per B and C below? I recommend number 2 always. And the reason I say that, Peter, is because you can get a hell of a lot more mileage out of a channel if you're covering a broader area or a broader... It could be both for location purposes or for niche purposes. For example, if you have would you want to create specifically a roofing channel? You know what I'm saying? To where all the videos on the channel are specifically related to roofing? Or would you want to create a home improvement channel that you could target roofing and electrical and HVAC and landscaping and fence installation and all of that? My point is, for my time, I would prefer to do a broader channel and then have playlists that keep everything separate. So essentially, you're siloing your YouTube channel. That's what the whole YouTube Silo Academy was about. And that's because you can build an authority channel that way, provided that you're going to keep your channel clean. You're not going to use it for real spammy crap. If you're going to use it for real spammy crap, then yes, build a highly focused channel that you consider disposable. And in my opinion, for the method that I'm talking about, where you're going to build an authority channel, I recommend that you go with a broader niche. And for location purposes, instead of covering like roofers in Atlanta, Atlanta roofers, where you're just covering Atlanta, you could cover Georgia roofers, or you could just have a roofers channel, and then you could set up location silos based on cities or based on states. I mean, there's a number of things that you can do in order to silo your channel out properly, but allow that channel to have more than just one, than just a one-trick pony. And the reason I say that is because you can build authority a lot quicker that way, and any subsequent videos, as your channel starts to gain an authority and starts to build, gaining traction as well, it's going to make it easier to rank subsequent videos, because it's going to automatically or instantly benefit from the authority of the channel, right? And so that's how you can do it, is go broader with the channel, but then theme it via playlists. Okay, that's how you can get specific, is using playlists. All right. Do you have each? Let's see. I'm sorry. Do you have each YouTube playlist publish its own videos to its own IFTTT network as per A below? You can, but that's difficult to do. And the reason I say that is because you can't connect a YouTube channel to publish specifically from just a playlist yet, from an upload anyways. You can from a like, I suppose. But it's just going to publish, it's going to syndicate all videos from the channel. So you can use the RSS feed, but that doesn't give you necessarily the embed. So I just typically will have, like I said, the branded Tier 1 network, and then all videos go out. I don't worry about theming my networks at that point to anything other than what the general theme of the YouTube channel is itself. I don't try to separate that. I think that's way overcomplicating it, and it's not necessary. Okay. Do you have each YouTube playlist under the same channel, published to the same shared IFTTT network as per B and C below? Again, you can't separate YouTube channel playlists. You can't just syndicate from specific playlists. Not with the direct syndication recipe that we use in the IFTTT training. You can't do that. It's got to be, you can do it with an RSS feed, but then you don't necessarily get the embed, so I don't recommend that. I just post all videos from that channel to the same network, or networks if I'm using multiple networks. Okay, again, guys, remember with YouTube channels, you don't really have to worry about footprints like you do with blogs. So I just go ahead and stack as many networks as it takes to rank what I want to rank, and then just publish videos to it, and they get syndicated to all properties in the networks. The siloing is like strictly an on-page thing that you do for YouTube. It's an on-page SEO thing. Okay. Do you rent out each individual video in the YouTube silo playlist for a given area, or only the main keyword video? It depends. It really depends. Most of the time, it's just the main keyword video. However, sometimes I'm able to upsell the client on, or the lead buyer or whatever, on the other videos as well. I obviously try to, but a lot of the times they don't find them that valuable, and most of the time I end up just doing the silo videos, targeting variations of the keyword, just to rank the main keyword video anyways, and it provides additional traffic too. Do you use the same videos for each playlist with minor changes to make them more location specific, or do you use the same videos with a custom thumbnail graphic to make them, or do you make no changes at all? Well, you have to make changes, or else YouTube will flag them as duplicates, unless you're live streaming the videos, in which case they'll all be unique files. And yes, I change them slightly. Whether it's opening and closing music is different than the original video, or the file length is longer, or just the video length is longer. Even if I'm live streaming the videos, guys, I still change them slightly, so that you don't have one channel with the same video 300 times, because then all it's going to take is a manual review to get your account shut down. Okay, and I don't recommend that. If you're going to be doing an authority type channel where you're going to be using silos to or playlists to silo it out, like I just recommended, I recommend that you spend some more time on the videos. And if you need a spam channel for testing purposes, then by all means set up a spam channel for testing purposes. Once you identify things that are going to be successful, then go do a better, more higher quality, higher production value video to target the keywords that you already know are going to be successful from your spam channel campaign. That makes sense? That's what I do. That way you can keep your money channel clean, but you can use other channels to test. It's the best way to do it because then you're limiting your risk. All right. Wow, we didn't get through any questions, I feel like. I mean, they just were really long, and we're like almost out of time.
Pretty in-depth stuff today.
Yep. Michael Dawes says, have you taken a good look at Scaleout tool that RyMac and Joe Troyer are using as better than Syndwire approach? Do you see any good way to apply Scaleout to our network approach? Well, Scaleout is just a social it's just a social engagement tool or a marketplace. It's essentially a community or an application where you can or Scaleout. Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Scale Social. Scaleout is the Hangout tool that RyMac is selling, and Scale Social is part of that. It's like an application within it. You know, I've been testing it, and the problem is with Scaleout, if for tier 1 embeds, I think it's great because you can manage as many. You can put WordPress, self-hosted WordPress.com plus self-hosted WordPress sites plus Tumblr and Blogger. So you can essentially, and I think when you purchase an account there or a license, you get like, I think it's like 500. You can install or add up to 500 sites to it before you have to purchase an additional or extended license or something like that. So it's great for tier 1 for getting embeds. But the problem that I have found with, because it integrates with Syndwire as well, if you have Syndwire for tier 2 links, it will integrate. The problem is, and I've tested this, and I find it to be like it's just a ticking time bomb to get your Syndwire account shut down. Not from Joe Troyer, but to get your Web 2s that are part of your Syndwire account shut down is what I mean for spam. Is like, for example, one of the tests that I ran when I first got the application Scaleout was I did 35 tier 1 embeds. So essentially I did a Hangout that syndicated or embedded on 35 tier 1 sites, which was a mix of Blogger, Tumblr, and self-hosted WordPress sites. I'm not using any WordPress.com sites, just self-hosted WordPress sites. But what I did was I connected that to Syndwire, as well, you know, it connects, and it just in the process of setting up the campaign, you can tell it yes or no, you want to use Syndwire as tier 2, and I said yes. And I selected in my Syndwire, I create campaign groups. So in other words, like I'll have 6 profiles per group. And so each profile has roughly 20 Web 2 accounts, right? Because it's one profile. And just like we teach in IFTTT SEO Academy, I set up my Syndwire accounts the same way. I create a persona that has a bio, a background, a profile photo, all of that. And then I create all 20-ish sites, Web 2 sites, with the same profile info, and I interlink all of them so that it's just like the IFTTT networks. It gives them a much, much higher stick rate. And also themes them. I try to keep them somewhat themed. Okay? So and then what I do is I create campaign groups. So let's say I've got 6 personas or 6 profiles that are in a campaign group with roughly 20 properties per profile. That comes out to be 120 properties, right, per campaign group. All right, so what I did was I syndicated my Hangout to tier 1, which was 35 tier 1 properties, and then Syndwire took those 35 posts and syndicated them to each property in the profile groups. Each property for each profile in the profile group for tier 2, right? Syndwire. So if you do the math, it came out to be 35 properties, and let's see, I'm pulling up my calculator on my phone right now, but it came out to be 35 properties, and there was 120 tier 2 properties that all 35 posts got syndicated to each one of those. So it's 35 times 22 comes out to be 35 times 120. 35 times 120. Yeah, 4,200. It came out to be 4,200 tier 2 links, which sounds great, guys, right? Wow, that's got to be really powerful. Well, yeah, it could be very powerful. But the problem is the 35 posts that were all similar, other than they were, you know, I used a spun article, so there was a spun title and stuff like that, but they were all damn near the same article, right? And it got posted to, like, let's say, profile number 1 WordPress.com site, or let's say the Blogger site. So profile number 1 Blogger site got the same post posted 35 times, right? Other than the slight variations of the spin tags, it was the same post posted 35 times. And then likewise for profile number 2 and profile number 3 all the way through 6. So 4,200 tier 2 links sounds like a lot, sounds great. But the problem is I had essentially the same post posted 35 times to every property in that set. And to me, that's just, you're just asking to have your accounts terminated. And so to me, I don't recommend using, if you're doing small tier 1 sets, so like, for example, if you select a group of 5 properties, then you're only going to get the same post posted 5 times per property. That's a little bit better, more reasonable. But if you're trying to do a big blast of tier 1, do not enable the Syndwire option for that particular campaign is my point. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense, Michael. I don't know if how far you got into the webinar with that, but if they gave you a demonstration of how it works, if you're doing small tier 1 syndication sets, then it's okay to use Syndwire as tier 2, but if you're doing large stuff, then I would stick with tier 1 only. And in fact, you could set up IFTTT networks for your tier 1 properties. Be a hell of a lot of work, but that would automate the tier 2 links anyways, and it would be unique to that. So each tier 2 network would only post 1 time per post instead of instead of multiplied by whatever your tier 1 links are, if that makes sense. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. I think it's a decent tool, but only on, like I said, for tier 1, or if you're going to apply IFTTT networks to the tier 1 properties. I don't recommend using Syndwire for tier 2, unless it's a small group set. Anyways, hopefully that makes sense. Rainer, we've only got a couple minutes left. Guys, sorry we didn't get to all the questions if that's the case, but there was a lot of really in-depth ones today. So check out SEMrush. It will give you a lot of insight from anchor text to backlinks. Ahrefs and Majestic isn't bad either. The free trial should be enough information. Yeah, SEMrush is almost one of those things that, like, everybody should have. I agree. I still don't know how to use all of it because I just use it for certain, like, keyword data things. But SEMrush is a great tool. George, I guess you already gave him the TubeSift stuff. Yeah. Okay. Don't get hashtag popped by that hashtag Chrome. I'm plus oneing that. That's a good one, Daniel. Thank you. Let's see. TELUS, Cambridge Electronics Incorporated. He says, I have trouble generating press releases and getting approved. Any suggestions? Yeah, hire a press release writer. I mean, no kidding. That's what I do.
Yeah, also the Joe Hughes service that we left, that will also work.
Yeah.
And they will write your press release for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of press release services now that will do the distribution services that will also, for an additional price, will write your press releases for you. That's a good way to do it. It's a bit pricier that way, but it's a good way to do it because since they are the distribution service, they know how to write them to be they're going to be automatically approved.
Hey Bradley.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut in, but I just noticed that Harry Jameson joined us.
Oh,
He's one
shit.
of the coolest guys in Virginia.
Coolest guy in Virginia,
give him a shout out.
Harry Jameson is the coolest guy in Virginia.
He is.
I'm the second coolest guy in Virginia. Just go Google it and you'll see. But Harry Jameson is the king.
Hey, man, nice seeing you here, Henry.
Yeah, he's the coolest guy. What's up, man? He's a funny dude. I'm glad he's here. As far as press releases, like I have a writer that does it for me that I hired off of Odesk or now Upwork. And she's awesome because I just send her who, what, when, where, why, and how. I give her those, 5 data points that she asked for. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So it's 6. And I send her that information, and she writes my press releases, and it costs me about $20. And it's done within usually 48 hours. I get it back from her, and they are always, always, always approved. And I use a couple different press release services, Newswire.net, I'm a long-time customer of them, and now also Press Advantage. And when we release SERP Space, our marketplace and our network management tool and everything, that you guys will all have access to that as well if you purchase it, obviously. But that's we're going to be integrating press releases into that to where you can order press releases and even have them written for you and everything right from inside the dashboard. Okay.
All right, I think we got time for one more, and then we'll have to wrap it up.
Okay, cool. Harry's here. That's so cool. Let's see. Brian says. We'll try very quickly. Do you run any video AdWords to increase more views to your videos? Yeah, Brian, you can do that. That's a great way to do it because, and as I mentioned before, I don't know if you heard this, but for like local videos and stuff, guys, I've set up YouTube ads campaigns for local videos, and you get really, really targeted on where that will be displayed, like who it will be displayed as far as geography, and you can get clicks for like 3 cents, 5 cents, 8 cents, that sort of thing. And I've had videos that were a bitch to move in, for SEO purposes. Like I've had them stuck at the bottom of page 1 or at the top of page 2, and I just couldn't get them to where I wanted them for SEO purposes. And then I've set up YouTube ads campaigns, and within about a week, they boom up to the top. like #1. In fact, some of them that I've done that for are now the big videos. You know, like you guys know how the big video, like the video shows up sometimes really, really big. And so Google will tell you that you setting up AdWords stuff does not improve SEO, but I totally disagree. At least I've seen firsthand that by setting up an AdWords campaign for those, that you can get a ranking benefit out of it. Let's see. Last thing, I just want to let's see. Sharedcount.com shows that I only have 1 tweet, but I have hundreds. Do I have something connected incorrectly? I don't know, Scott. There's other social counters out there. Just try other ones. Just go to Google and type in social counters and check out some of the other ones if that one's not reading right, and see.
You should definitely check out the picture as the last thing.
Wayne and Clint are the two that now are always adding photos, and it's awesome.
That's good.
All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. Looks like we were
pretty close.
Looks like we're right on the money. You guys are good. You guys are really good. So, all right, guys, hopefully that was helpful. We will see Masterclass members in about 5 minutes. We got a lot to go through, and then we'll see everyone else next week. So,
cool. Have a good one, everyone.
Happy Hump Day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.